communication to make at the moment. Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Mr. Speaker, sir, under this order, there is a paper to be laid by the Honorable Samuel Chege Gadirimu, the Vice Chairperson of the House Business Committee.
Very well. Yes, Honorable Whip, Mary Kabiro.
Mr. Speaker, I want to table the report of the House Business Committee on the amendment of the first schedule of the standing orders. And I table.
The report is duly tabled. The same shall be processed as directed by the House Business Committee, that is pursuant to Standing Order 157(5)D. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Mr. Speaker, sir, under this one, there is a notice to be given by the Honorable Samuel Chege Gadirimu.
Very well. Honorable Mary Kabiro.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House does adopt the report of the House Business Committee on the amendment of the first schedule of the standing orders as a report of the House and the recommendations therein as the resolutions of the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The notice of motion is duly given, and the same shall be processed as directed by the House Business Committee, that is pursuant to Standing Order 157(5)D. Next order.
Under the same order, Mr. Speaker, there is another notice of motion to be given by the Honorable Joseph Kuriadu, the Chairperson, Committee on Sports, Youth Empowerment and the Arts.
Very well. Honorable Joseph Kuriadu, Chairperson, Committee on Sports, Youth Empowerment and Arts.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House does adopt the report of the Committee of Youth Affairs, Sports and Arts on the Departmental Budget Implementation Report of Financial Year 2023-2024 as a report of the House and the recommendations therein as the resolution of the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
A notice of motion is duly given, and the same shall be processed as directed by the House Business Committee, that is pursuant to Standing Order 157(5)D. Next order.
Under the same order, Mr. Speaker, sir, there is another notice of motion to be given by the Honorable Paul Ngeshe Wambaire, the Chairperson of the Committee on Health Services.
Very well. Honorable Paul Ngeshe Wambaire, Chairperson, Committee on Health Services.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to give the notice of the following motion, that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on Health Services on the J.M. Kariuki Memorial County Referral Hospital, Level 4 Hospital, annual report and the financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2024 as a report of the House and the recommendation therein as the resolution of the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Notice of motion is duly given, and the same shall be processed as directed by the House Business Committee, that is pursuant to Standing Order 157(5)D. Next order.
Order number 7, statements. Mr. Speaker, sir, there is a statement response to be issued by the Honorable John Duo Gashino, the Chairperson, Committee on Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development.
Very well. Honorable John Duo Gashino. Is holding brief for Honorable Gashino. Oh yes, Honorable Ibra, member for Morungaru.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the Chair, Honorable John Dugashino, this is the progress report on the implementation status of fiscal and land use development plans for my Inya and Engineer municipalities and the surveying of colonial dams in Nyandarua County. Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Committee on Lands, Fiscal Planning and Urban Development wishes to apprise this Honorable House on the status of its inquiry into the statement sought by Honorable James K. Rugashomba, Member of County Assembly for Jabini Keboro Ward. In August 2024, Honorable Gashomba raised pertinent concerns regarding the progress of the implementation of the fiscal and land use development plans for Mairo Inya and Ijinia municipalities, as well as the surveying of colonial dams located within the Nyandarua County. In response to these concerns, the Speaker directed the Committee on Lands, Fiscal Planning and Urban Development.
Point of information, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Gashomba.
Mr. Speaker, in the response that has been being led by one of the members of the Lands Committee, we can't see it in our tablets.
Yes, ICT, ensure, facilitate and ensure every member has a progress report.
On point of clarification.
Yes, Honorable Ibrahim.
This is not a full.
Yeah, it's a progress report.
It's a progress report.
Yeah, of course, which is important for the members to have it. Because are you maybe the nature of progress? I'm sure there are some issues you're explaining. Because it's not just seeking leave. There's some issue. It appears there's some issue that has been laid down. Maybe the committee, you must be having a soft copy. Clerk, confirm and assist the member. Yeah. But I think meanwhile, yes, meanwhile you can be proceeding because it's a one-page document as the same is being circulated.
As I continue, in August 2024, Honorable Gashomba raised pertinent concerns regarding the progress of the implementation of the fiscal and land use development plans for Mairo, Inya, and Ijinia municipalities, as well as the surveying of colonial dams located within Nyandarua County. In response to these concerns, the Speaker directed the Committee on Lands, Fiscal Planning and Urban Development to investigate the matter and submit a comprehensive report within the specified time frame. Pursuant to this directive, the committee, through the Office of the Clerk, issued a formal request for information to the County Executive Committee member, CCM, responsible for Department of Lands, Fiscal Planning and Urban Development via correspondence referenced NCA/CLRK/14/CC Lands /38/24 dated 15 August 2024. In reply, the department submitted a preliminary response via a letter referenced Nyandarua /LPP and UD/ADM 28/4.1, dated that 1st October 2024. The information provided, however, was partial and lacked adequate details. To seek further clarification, the committee invited the CCM to appear before its on Wednesday, 6th November 2024 at 11 a.m. via a letter referenced NCA Clerk 14/CC Lands /46/24, dated 20th November 2024. On the same day, the department responded through correspondence referenced Nyandarua /LPP and UD/ADM 28/4 of that too, requesting additional time to prepare a comprehensive response. Based on the contents of the initial response dated that 1st October 2024, the committee compiled a preliminary progress report which was formally tabled before this House on 3rd March 5th March 2025. Subsequently, another invitation was issued to the department through the Office of the Clerk on a letter dated 17 April 2025. The department's reply dated 25th April 2025 and that reference again contained limited and inconclusive information. Accordingly, the committee issued a final invitation for CCM to appear before it on 7th May 2025 at 11 a.m. via a letter referenced as such, dated 2nd May 2025. During this session, the department failed to provide the requested written submission and instead verbally committed to submitting the necessary documentation at a later date, requesting additional time for the same. In light of the foregoing, Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee notes with concern that despite having granted the department ample time since 2024, no substantive information has been submitted to enable the committee to adequately respond to the Honorable House. Consequently, Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee recommends that the matter be referenced to the Committee on General Oversight for further inquiry and to provide greater clarity on the issue under consideration. Attached herewith are the copies and referenced correspondence pertaining to the said statement. Honorable Speaker, that's the position of this report statement. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, maybe Honorable Ibra, as you sit, you sought leave of how many days to bring the main report?
Honorable Speaker, we are not seeking further dates or further time. What we are requesting is that this matter now be dealt with the Committee on General Oversight.
Yeah.
That's what we are seeking for.
Very well. Honorable Kashomba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I do agree that this assembly has requested many times this response to be brought forward so that it can be able to interrogate those funds that were appropriated within Engineer Municipality and Maronia Municipality. And hence, and since the department is unable to provide those documentation, Mr. Speaker, agree with the committee recommendation that we call them upon to the general oversight so that this Honorable House can be able to deal with it firmly. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. I'll give directions in regard to that matter. Clerk, next order.
Order number 8, motions and bills. Mr. Speaker, sir, there is a motion to be moved by the Honorable Zachary Mwangi-Njero, the Chairperson, Committee on Finance, Economic Planning and ICT.
Very well. Honorable Zachary Mwangi-Njero.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the following motion that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on Finance, Economic Planning and ICT on the Nyandarua County Receiver of Revenue, that is half-year report, and financial statements for the period ended 31st day of December 2024 as a report of the House, and the recommendations therein as a resolution of the House. Honorable Speaker, with me is the said report. And Honorable Speaker, I take this opportunity to go through the report. And Honorable Speaker, it is well to note that counties have derived their mandate, that is from the 4th schedule of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010. And thus Nyandarua County is responsible for providing a variety of services to its residents within its area of jurisdiction, including the services provided by the different local authorities and those transferred from the national government. And the governor, who heads the county, is responsible for the general policy and strategic direction of the county, and the county executive committee supports him in carrying out of the mandate as stipulated in the Constitution. Arising from that, Honorable Speaker, the CCM member of Finance, Economic Planning and ICT is in charge of the county treasury. The receiver of revenue falls under the county treasury. That's the head of the county treasury, provides for the policy direction on the revenue collection. Honorable Speaker, Regulation 61 of the PFM regulations intimates that the receiver of revenue, designated by the county executive committee member, shall be responsible for collecting and accounting for such items of revenue as the CCM may specify. In writing, the county executive committee member for finance shall designate a person or persons to be responsible for collecting, receiving, Honorable Speaker, and accounting for such county government revenues as the county executive committee member for finance may specify in their letters of designation. A receiver of county government revenue is responsible for the county executive committee member for finance to ensure that the revenue for which the receiver is responsible is collected or recovered and is accounted for according to PFMA. That is section 157 and section 158. Honorable Speaker, the receiver of revenue collects the revenue and remits the same to the county revenue fund, that is the CRF. The management of day-to-day of revenue is at the departmental chief officers, and that is director and director revenue and head of revenue reporting. Honorable Speaker, I don't intend to go to the introductory part, but it is always good to appreciate my committee members. That is my vice chair, Hon Benson Kerry, Honorable Peter Mwangi Maina, Honorable Thuo Kuria, Honorable Catherine Matenge, Honorable Juliana Mugure, Honorable Patrick Kariuki, Honorable Elijah Mwangi Nyaga, Honorable Edinard Kengoli, who are members, and myself as the chairperson, and equally our secretariat led by the committee clerk, that is Madam Nancy Mude. Honorable Speaker, I want to go direct to committee findings and observation, that is on page 10, because it is more of a reporting and a comparative analysis. And Honorable Speaker, having considered the said report by the receiver of revenue on the revenue statements for the period ended 31st day of December 2024, the committee has made the following findings and observation. One, that the county set a target of collecting a total of 600 million, that is a local collection, and sharing 250 million for facility improvement financing, that is FIF, from various revenue streams defined in the finance bill. The revenue projected for the financial year 23-24 was a total of 985 million, which is 13.7% decrease from the current year's target. And Honorable Speaker, from our findings, the financial statement has not included the comparative period. Therefore, the committee had to rely on the previous reports tabled in the House for comparison and decision making. This is an anomaly while presenting financial statement. Honorable Speaker, it is good to note that the county collected a total of 247,172,342 shillings, with Kenya shillings 136,276,981 Kenya shillings as facility improvement financing, and Kenya shillings 110,885,361 as a local collection, which represents just 0.08% of the anticipated Kenya shillings 850 million. From the table below, Honorable Speaker, we have the revenue, we have the target, we have the actual correction, and we have the percentage in correction. And Honorable Speaker, according to local revenue, we had a correction of 22.71%. FIF, the target was 250 million, but the actual correction was 110,885,361 Kenya shillings, and that sums up to 44.36%, and having a collective total, Honorable Speaker, of 29.08%, comparing the total target of 850 million to the actual correction of 172,342. Honorable Speaker, the revenue correction for the period under review is 29.08%. While the comparative period revenue correction was 22% of the target. Irrespective of the revenue target, there has been an increment on revenue correction of 9.8% from the comparative period. And with the correction of the record date, in the first half, the county will hardly meet the set targets, noting that the county has a variance of that is 20.92%. So that was an indicator that the target will not be met whatsoever. Honorable Speaker, the major streams in the county include the hospital fees, administration control fee and charges, that is cess, single business permits, and the parking fee. And table 1, above there, Honorable Speaker, is a tabulation of the top 5 revenue streams. 1, we have the hospital fees. Revenue collected as at December 2023 was 121,631,71 shillings. And as at December 2024, there was a correction of 110,895,361 Kenya shillings. On the issue on the correction on administration control, that is fees and charges, revenue collected as at December 2023 was at tune of 31 million plus, while the revenue collected as at December 2024 was at 42 million plus. When you come to cess, Honorable Speaker, revenue collected as at December 2023 was a tune of 31 plus millions, whereas revenue collection as at December 2024 was at 27 million plus. At a single business permit, the period as at December 2023, the collection was 8.79 million, while the revenue collected as at December 2024 was at 16.812 million. On the issue of parking fee, the revenue collected as at December 2023 was at 9.837 million, while the revenue collected as at December 2024 was 9.9 million plus. Honorable Speaker, this was our findings, that the second half, which usually runs from 1st of July to 31st of December, hospital fees recorded a decrease of 8.8%, administration control fees and charges an increase of 132.2%, cess 12.8% decrease, single business permit 91.2% increase, while parking fees had an increase of 1.6% from the comparative period. Efficiency, Honorable Speaker, should be enhanced to ensure a better performance of revenue. Hospital fees recorded a decrease in revenue that needed to be investigated, mainly because the facilities and services have improved from the comparative period. Honorable Speaker, additionally, administration control fees and charges, which includes the liquor licenses, which reported a significant growth of Kenya shillings 35,241,213 Kenya shillings, from Kenya shillings 10,125,964 Kenya shillings from the comparative period, which is a 248% increase. Honorable Speaker, access has also recorded decrease in revenue, where it was expected due to enforcement at the barrier points. Revenue would increase. More so, milk cess, which was classified as cess, where no revenue is reported under this stream. This is a stream that can report substantive revenue with the minimal cost of collection. Honorable Speaker, bearing in mind that we have the already organized entities, such as the likes of KDL and Moki, Nyara, and the like. And Honorable Speaker, single business permits recorded a huge increase from the comparative period that gives an indication that the county can collect more in every stream when the right strategies are applied. Honorable Speaker, it is good to note that parking fee, which includes street parking, motorbike fees, and bus park fees, that is tabulated in the table below. We have the revenue stream, we have the revenue collected as at December 2023, and equally a comparative analysis on revenue as collected as per December 2024. At the street parking, that is town parking fee, and the revenue collected as at December 2023 was 249,808 Kenya shillings, while the revenue collected as at December 2024 was Kenya shillings 440,000 Kenya shillings. And the motorbike fees, the revenue collected as at December 2023 was 3,859,100 Kenya shillings, while the revenue collected as at December 2024 was 3,653,590 Kenya shillings. At the bus parks, revenue collected as at December 2023 was 5,728,500 Kenya shillings, while revenue collected as at December 2024 in Kenya shillings was 5,896,760 Kenya shillings. The total collection, Honorable Speaker, from the parking fees, that is now at the street parking, motorbike fees, and bus park. As at December 2023, there was a collection of 9,837 Kenya shillings. Sorry, 9,837,408 Kenya shillings, where revenue collected as at December 2024 was 9,990,350 Kenya shillings. Arising from the above, Honorable Speaker, there is a slight increase in the parking fees, but a decrease was noted in the motorbike stream. This revenue stream was expected to report greater revenue with the 3 municipalities in the county. Greater enforcement can increase revenue in this stream. Honorable Speaker, the county revenue collection of 247,172,342 Kenya shillings includes a miscellaneous revenue of Kenya shillings 10,896,108 Kenya shillings, which includes insurance compensation of Kenya shillings 5.7 million, interest saleda, that is through salary, and the refund of Kenya shillings 519,005 shillings, and direct bank deposits of 4,677,103 Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, from the findings, the committee noted that the insurance compensation and interest, that is surrender and salary and refund, are not a source of revenue. Although the funds are deposited in the CRF, they are not defined in the finance bill as such. These funds operate revenue reported from the various sources of revenue. It is good to note that, Honorable Speaker. During the period under review, the total payments was Kenya shillings 234,227,076 shillings. That included county disbursement of Kenya shillings 121,965,014 shillings to the CRF. FIF had its collection of Kenya shillings 110,895,361 Kenya shillings spent in the health facilities. Bank charges of Kenya shillings 25,271 Kenya shillings, and the revolving fund of 1,341,430 Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, that is as far as the comparison and analysis of the period under review is concerned. And arising from the foregoing, the committee makes the following recommendations. One, that this House does adopt the report on the receiver of revenue, that is revenue statement for the financial statement for the period ended that first day of December 2024, and the recommendations therein as the resolution of this House. Recommendation number 2, that within 30 days, the County Executive Committee member does bring to this House the measures taken to ensure revenue from milk sales is collected and any other stream as recommended by the committee. And 3, that going forward, the CCM Finance does ensure the financial statements outline comparative figures for the period. That is as far as the receiver of revenue statement is concerned. And I wish to call Honorable Nyandarua, the member of this committee, to second the motion.
Very well, Honorable Ednard.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I like to support this motion that has been brought by the committee that I am a member, Finance and Economic Planning and ICT. However, as much, Honorable Speaker, matters pertaining to revenue collection in this county, we are a long way to go, Honorable Speaker, and it is worrying. For me, it is worrying because these things that we have discussed for long, and nothing has been done, Honorable Speaker, in terms of implementation. Honorable Speaker, you realize that we have not met the target. Financial year 2022, 2023, 2024. Now we are here in 2025, 2024-2025, heading to 2026, 2027. And we have done a lot of benchmarking as a committee, and we brought the report to this honorable House with many recommendations, but with no support, Honorable Speaker, from the executive. I might be seen as if I'm fighting the executive, but no, Honorable Speaker. My position is one, that there are several indicators that I would wish to cite out. Rather, there are several parameters, Honorable Speaker, that I wish to cite out. that the executive should take it up without enforcing so much. You realize that in the report, Honorable Speaker, on page 12, table 2, where we have the parking fees. The enforcement officers, which are attached by this department of Directorate of the Revenue Collection, they enhance a lot of force, Honorable Speaker, on issue pertaining to the street parking, town, motorbike fees, bus parking fees. And you find that, Honorable Speaker, we have a good number, or rather a good percentage, where, for example, Honorable Speaker, the motorbike fee across the county is 3.8 million, that is back 2023, and back 2024 has reduced to 3.6. Bus park fee 5.7, 2023. Revenue as December 2024 was 5.8. Honorable Speaker, you realize that that is a small fish. And most of the time, the enforcement officer, they are running up and down, ensuring that this amount of money is being collected. In our recommendation, Honorable Speaker, you find that we have cited one stream in relation to the revenue from the milk sales. No report that has brought. And that is where the money lies. Across the county, Honorable Speaker, there are many facilities related to milk processing plant. Even the milk collection from the individuals, coming out of the county to the other county. And there is nothing the Revenue Directorate has indicated what they have collected. In our mathematics, Honorable Speaker, we came up with percentages and find that if the milk sales is being collected properly in this county, would it be gotten about relatively to do 180 to 200 million. Honorable Speaker, it shows that this county assembly is not being supported by the executive. And that's why, Honorable Speaker, I'm rising here to say that the executive need to do several things without even forcing so much or using their power on enforcement on how the revenue should be collected. And one of them, Honorable Speaker, is public participation. When last the public participation has been done in this county to encourage the public on issues to do with the tax policy formulation? When last has been done? My answer, Honorable Speaker, is zero. It is zero. Other than the finance bill, that is normally emanated from the executive to this assembly, and then we go back to the public participation again. There is no other time, Honorable Speaker, that you find that there is public participation, whereby there is an attachment between the public and the government. The other one, Honorable Speaker, is issue pertaining to the stakeholders' engagement. Honorable Speaker, this says milk says, Honorable Speaker, this is a matter of consultation that we involve the main stakeholders, that is, for example, Orokarao milk processing plant that we have here, Moki, KDL, we have Turaga, we have Jabine, and the rest. We engage them, Honorable Speaker, in dialogue and consultation, Honorable Speaker, and then we discuss on a platform whereby everyone is there, Honorable Speaker. And to my understanding, Honorable Speaker, if we can be able to involve the business community in discussion about the policy making, to my understanding, there must be a white smoke that will come out of there. The other parameter, Honorable Speaker, is the political will and governance. Do we have the political goodwill in this county, Honorable Speaker, in relation to this? Honorable Speaker, whereby we ensure that the political will enhance the revenue collection. Honorable Speaker, if this issue of revenue collection is a matter that should be taken as a matter of the county importance, and everyone, including the department, the directorate, not only the finance and economic planning, they are being involved and they go directly, Honorable Speaker, in relation to the stream which is captured in the finance and economic finance bill, Honorable Speaker. To my understanding is that we should have raised the revenue in this county. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, it is issue pertaining to corruption. And my Honorable Speaker, I will give a good example where the forest that is closer to me, Yeta Forest, there is a transaction that is being done, laboring, clearing of or rather harvesting the trees in the forest. And in our Finance Act, Honorable Speaker, there is in every lorry that is being carried, there is 1,000 shillings that will be paid. I spent a day, Honorable Speaker, in investigating this matter. And I came out, Honorable Speaker, with an answer that for every 3 or 5 lorries that is being carried, one of them is not captured. And this investigation be done without mentioning an indicator of showing that there is corruption that is traversing across the board. In our access point, in every area where there is correction of revenue in this county. How can we be able to enhance this? That can only emanate in surely, Honorable Speaker, there is another example I'll raise out, Honorable Speaker, where by one of the revenue collector was saying if he be told to take the possession of the CC member finance or remain with the possession, he would suggest that he remain with the possession of collecting the revenue rather than being the CC member. Why? Because of the money that is going into his pocket. A clear indication of showing the corruption that we have in this county. CRA indicator, Honorable Speaker, they projected that this county has a capacity of taking 1.5 billion on our own source revenue. Now we are below, Honorable Speaker, 500 million, showing that, Honorable Speaker, we are a long way to go. And it is not because this county assembly is not able. It is because of many negligences, Honorable Speaker, in terms of the parameters of enhancing revenue in this county. And Honorable Speaker, I raise my case with the support of the report from our committee, and Honorable Speaker, with the recommendation that I have just raised up, and to my understanding that this hazard report, Honorable Speaker, will be forwarded to the executive, and then
look at the parameters that they should look upon so that revenue enhancement, own source revenue enhancement in this county is well done. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you.
And Honorable Speaker, I second the report.
Thank you. I propose the question, which is that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on Finance, Economic Planning and ICT on the Nyandarua County Receiver of Revenue Half-Year Report and Financial Statements for the period ended December 31st, 2024, as a report of the House and the recommendations therein as a resolution of the House. Honorable Dayen.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to support the report from the onset with a few suggestions. I would want to refer this House to page 10. Page 10, item number 2. And I want to read it verbatim. The county collected a total of 247,172,342 million, with Kenya shillings 136,276,981 as facility improvement financing, underline 136,276,981 as facility improvement financing, FIF, and Kenya shillings 110,895,361 as local collections, which represents 29.08% of the anticipated Kenya shillings 850 million. If you look at the table in there, having borne in mind the FIF figure as listed, the local collection, a figure of 110 as listed. If you compare that statement with the listing on the table, I would wish to be informed of the coherence in that statement. I would also refer you to item number 5. Item number 5, which reads, during the period under, the payments was 234,227,076 that included county disbursed 121,965,014 to the CLF, comma, FIF. Its collection is listed as 110,895,361 spent in the health facilities. And so it continues. I would want collaboration of those figures, the consistencies in the figures, so that we have the correct statement so that it is consistent. I would wish that the chair would clarify that matter, and before this report is adopted, a correction to the statement is made, so that the figure appearing as FIF and local corrections is consistent with within the statement. The other item, Honorable Speaker, is on page 11, which talks about the collections. I have noted that a comparative collections within, revenue collections within 2023 and 2024, hospital fees, 121,631,071 for 2023, and 110,895,361 for 2024 December, which to me shows a reduction, an increase in administration control, fees and charges. And the question that comes to my mind is this a revenue or an expenditure? Administration control, is that supposed to be a revenue or an expense? And again, there is also an increase. I've noted that there is an increase, although that is grossly stated to the extent that one is not able to tell what is what. What do you mean by administration control? What are these fees and what are these charges? We ought to have that expounded. There is also the aspect of the cess. In 2023, Cess collected was 31,615,947. And again, as at December, and compared to December 2023, compared to 27,584,565 as at December 2024, which shows a decline in collections in Cess. And I would want to imagine that this is from the Cess point. And I want to collaborate that again with what the second of the motion, Honorable Kingori, did talk about. Could the reason behind the decline be attributed to leakages that could be taking place at the Cess point? And in that regard, what are the measures taken to make sure that those leakages are sealed? Again, the same has happened, although now this time around there is an increase, a near double increment from single business permit. I'm reminded, if my mind serves me well, there was consolidation between last year and this year on single business permit collections. Could this increase be attributable to the consolidation in terms of the permits, so that we see a double increment? Finally, there is the aspect of parking fee. The amount has largely remained the same, 9.8 compared to 9.9. And the question that comes to my mind is, does it mean that we have not increased the parking lot? Or could it be that the same number of vehicles that were parked in the same period have been parked in the same period under consideration? And how possible could that be, that seems to be the same amount? Those are factors that seeks to be enumerated. And finally, Honorable Speaker, and before I go to the final point, the second of the motion did talk about a goodwill. And Honorable Speaker, that kind of provoked my thinking. That Honorable Kingori talking about the goodwill from the government got me wondering whether who is supposed to be collecting the revenue, and why the collector of the revenue would fail to have the goodwill to do so. Kind of made me begin to wonder whether Honorable Kingori, I understood Honorable Kingori within the context he wanted me to understand him. Otherwise, the owner of revenue collection, both the finance bill that is passed by this Honorable House and the report that we are looking at, is the executive. And I would wonder why, whether the executive would fail to have the goodwill to do its work, if it did. And that did catch my attention when the second of the motion was moving. And finally, Honorable Speaker, and this could be the challenge, which is chapter 3, which is page 13 of 13, committee's recommendations. And I do take concern with the recommendations that the committee is coming up with. A serious matter as this, I am surprised that the committee could only come up with 3 recommendations. And when I see, when I see the way they are worded, it is in a very conservative manner, rather than speaking it the way it should be spoken. And I look at number 3, that going forward, the CCM Finance does ensure that financial statements outline comparative figures for the same period. That within 30 days, the CCM does bring to this House, within 30 days, the measures taken to ensure revenue from milk sales is collected. And I also take cognizance of the fact that the chair of the committee and the seconder of the motion spent quite a bit of time talking about milk sales. Left me wondering whether that's the only sales we could talk about, as opposed to all the other revenue streams that are listed within the finance bill that the committee did provide. So why are they so passionate about milk, other than the other sales that could be coming about? And finally, Honorable Speaker, as the seconder of the motion talked about the logging and the timber yard. operators or business people, community, and Kinangop happened to have a bulk of them. And the fact that, the cess is levied on them, the last time we spoke about this, we appealed to the House to do a comparative analysis between the revenue charged by the neighboring county, which is Nakuru, to make sure that our traders within our county are not overburdened compared to their competitors in Nakuru County, specifically talking about Naivasha, where they are relocating and taking business which ought to be in Nyandarua because of the favorable business conditions that are provided by Nakuru County compared to ours. With those many remarks, I want to rest my case there and appeal to the committee to look into those matters that I've listed, especially the contradiction and the confusion that exists with the figures as listed, and also furtherance of or enhancement of the recommendations so that the committee appears to have teeth that bite, not give recommendations that appear to the rest. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Honorable Kashamba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'd like to support the report on the Committee on Finance, Economical Planning and ICT on the report of the receiver of revenues, statements for the period ended that was June 2024. Mr. Speaker, you are aware that the year that has ended, in that financial year, they had budgeted to correct 600 million as our own source revenues. They had also projected to correct 250 million from FIF, which is actually defined in the finance bill. You go down there, Mr. Speaker, you understand in the year 2023 to 2024, the same house I projected to give us 985 million, of which, Mr. Speaker, you see there was a decline with about 13.7%. Mr. Speaker, this has been necessitated by the lack of cooperation between the stakeholders in the county government. And as you get to see the trajectory on how the receiver of revenues has alluded through the chair, that there are many areas that they need to get into and make sure, Mr. Speaker, that the revenues that had been targeted to be collected, this should be realistic. Mr. Speaker, you are aware when we do the budgets, and for now, the coming week shall be passing 24, 20, 25, 26 financial budget. Mr. Speaker, if we target as a county that we'll be able to collect 600 million, plus the shareable revenues that come from the national government, you would understand our budget would have a ceiling. And you are aware that the ADB is very clear on the areas that we need to prioritize in terms of budget process making. You get the CID, you get the county fiscal paper that actually set the ceilings. And if the ceilings, Mr. Speaker, are set, and you are unable to correct what you promise the budget that you do, Mr. Speaker, automatically should affect the development budget. That will reflect that Honorable Githej's road will not be done. My road will be done in Jabini if the targets that were met are not yet realized. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm appealing to the county government to make some recommendations on why they do correct it through. I would wish to tell the finance chair that they should come up with some incentives so that our revenue collectors can be motivated, and also to look for ways where revenues are being wasted in terms of theft and all that. Can we block those leakages? Can we come with our machines that will be able, Mr. Speaker, to automate the revenues that are being collected from our stakeholders and our business people? He has alluded on milk sales and all that. Yes, Mr. Speaker, this is a new chapter. We need to dwell much on the milk sales, but the milk sales will not be collected at my doorstep. Let them go to the cess point. Let them not come to my home and chase the farmers there. Let go to the cess point and check from there. There are in other areas, Mr. Speaker, we have the alcoholic bill that this House actually passed in the last financial year. Can they be able to interrogate how much have we collected from the liquor licenses on all that? Access points, Mr. Speaker, we need to guard all access points in terms of enhancement and try as a county to come up with other enhancement areas to collect the revenues, not only from our single business permits and other services. We have other areas. We have the forest produce. We have water. The water that is being collected from Konoike, Jabini to Nairobi. This water, Mr. Speaker, could earn more in terms of revenue if our county is able to collect and come up with that kind of synergy with the government of Nairobi, so it can be able, Mr. Speaker, to have a budget that will be able to be fulfilled. Mr. Speaker, holistically, I want to urge the committee, finance, that you should come up with modalities on how, Mr. Speaker, we'll be able to enhance revenue. Because if we shall not be able to meet our targets, actually the development budget will be affected. Also, remark, Mr. Speaker, I wish to support the document and actually come up with those recommendations that you have alluded to. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Shoma.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I take this as the opportunity to congratulate the committee on being an eye-opener to the county. Mr. Speaker, I don't know exactly that report, but there is an indication that as a county we can be able to collect 2 billion. And that is a report that is somewhere a credible report that we have the capacity to collect 2 billion. And today we only can afford maybe, don't know, a third of 2 billion. That is what we can be able to do today. And I think we should not now lament or complain, but we should now at least give the implementing body the support that they require. But however, giving them support that they require, do they have the goodwill? And I borrow from the secular. The goodwill is required by the implementer. Maybe how I view things is totally different from the other human being. And that is why I will start by looking at hospital. Mr. Speaker, that is on page, the issue of hospital. I was using that gadget. The hospital, they are telling us, okay, the target, they targeted to, from facility improvement financing, they were targeting to get to 50 million, but what was forthcoming was 110. Actually, we never even hit the half of it. We are there at 44.36%. Then there is the major streams in the county include hospital fees, and I want to dwell much on hospital fees because I'm chair health, and I also need to connect with what happened. The second half runs from 1st of July 20, not 20, but to that 1st December. Hospital fees recorded a decrease of 8.8%. To the revenue collector, they feel bad because we have reduced by 8.8%. The other time when I was contributing, I said the worst thing that is happening is that we are depending on sick people. Now you can see the thread, they are healing now. So we don't have money now because we cannot depend on sick people for revenue. And, Mr. Speaker, my point is very simple. So long as we want to generate revenue from hospital, we also need to equip and empower these facilities. It is only yesterday night in social media I saw an honorable member complaining that the engineer hospital cannot be able to do some simple task there at a certain time and beyond certain time. And do we expect now to get the revenue from the hospital? Nothing. We will not be able to get. So if we need our hospitals to generate income, we should now be opening the engineer to be having these wards, functional wards, such that we can be able to have patients there admitted, and of course generate income. So, Chair, whatever we require now is about the measures, and those measures should yield fruits, such that we also know that if the hospital is the main contributor, we also need to have human resource. These are the people who will be able to offer services. You see, with this report, when we don't have the CT scan, which is a basic service ought to be provided, we will not be able to generate more, because you will find that our JEM, which is now coming up very well in terms of health care, it will make a lot of referral to Nakuru. And this, you see, the charges, the component of the money that we receive as revenue from the hospital is the small things that happen there in the hospital that will earn us more revenue or income. So, Mr. Speaker, when we talk of goodwill, we are saying we need, and the CEO of this county should understand that our monies are coming from hospital. Thus, we should create a very good environment so that as our people are seeking services, they can be able to get the quality services where the county is generating a lot of income. When we are going through the financial statement, though I will be moving a motion here, you will be finding another issue is about automation. What am I saying? Like now, the FIF, which is a very good bill that we passed in this house, the money may be misused after it has been corrected. And I don't know, the mover or the seconder was talking about the corruption. And now we have created a stream, yes, but that money, it will not be limited. Why is it supposed to be? What are we supposed to do? Other counties, they are investing even in robotic and AI. I have seen in Moranga, they have something to do with, I don't know the keyword they are using, but they can be able to fetch some drug here from this point, then to the other facility. They are doing it very successfully. And also they can be able to monitor their strategic or pharmaceutical product, such that you can be able to trace someone who came to JM at 12 noon he or she was dispensed with these drugs. These drugs cost this much. This person paid this. Unless we automate our system, Mr. Speaker, we have a long way to go in terms of revenue, because most of the money here will end up in some people's pocket who purport to be working for the government, but instead they are working for themselves. I have highlighted two streams: the one from the hospital, the one from the automation of the services, where we now need to block the loophole. And Mr. Speaker, we have other areas that have not been harnessed. The Sasumwa water, it is a natural gift by God, just like animals and the wild animals in Masai Mara. That area has not been harnessed. The capacity of water that we just take to Nairobi, to Baringo, elsewhere, it is a natural gift, just like oil. Some people will argue it is a basic need. Yes, and also oil is a basic need for those who have car, for those who have aeroplane, they will use oil. So it's a basic need. The same should be happening. And this now talks of policy. We should now harness what we have. This water, even if we are doing it per liter, we could be having even 50 cents. Yearly, we should be having a lot of money. So, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude is that there was a cooperative minister by the name Nyaga. He said before he died, or somewhere there, he said a country that will have a very good CEO, they will be able to progress. And now, I'm not saying or insinuating, but I can say, because Honorable Niva is not around, Nyambura from Kiabariki. You see, I am not insinuating that we don't have a good CEO, but we need now, 15 years after devolution, we cannot be talking about the loophole or whatever, the cess, we cannot be able to collect the cess, the money we cannot be able to account, because at the end of the day, as you can see, and you have seen even in the issue of Boda Boda, though I'm not economist, you have seen that revenue has decreased. This is for the members from Munda, the Kenya Kwanza regime. When we are saying that people are no longer purchasing Boda Boda, you think it is not serious. The old one have depreciated, so no revenue can be collected. This is whatever is happening. And nobody is able to purchase a new motorbike. So this is talking to the country. It is not even here for Nyandarua. It is for the entire country to know that the Boda Boda, the motorbike fees, they are paying, but they are depreciating, and some of these they have been kept away. They no longer pay now. They cannot pay, and nobody is able to buy a motorcycle, which is going around 200,000. So this is for the Kenya Kwanza to know. I know where is majority leader to tell us what is happening, because nobody will be able to do the Boda Boda. So these streams, now you have had hospitals, we are no longer having patients. Patients are decreasing. The motorbike fees, nobody is willing to purchase a new one. So if these are our streams, then we need to work out. The issue of valuation role, that is the issue. The issue of automating the system such that we are not losing anything, that should be the issue. And of course, I thought that in this report, they could be saying or recommending that we need to automate. We start automation. Though it has got its deficiency,
is a good an eye-opener, such that in our next report, we can now recommend for solutions, such that, because sometimes you find that maybe they don't know they ought to undertake such solution, but we are going to ensure that we look into this. Like the milk says, Mr. Speaker, we said about it, we have talked only that it was politicized and nothing could come out from it. But we know that with goodwill now, Mr. Speaker, goodwill now, we can have our 2 billion. With our 2 billion, we can be able even to cater the salaries, such that whatever will be remitted from the national government now goes to development. And that is where we will be heading. And of course, we are fish on carrier. If this will not happen now, when we are governors, some of us, we can lead there, we will be able to harness this, to get this 2 billion as our own source revenue. With that, Mr. Speaker, I support the efforts of the committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Kumu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to contribute towards this report, and I'll be very brief because I only want to discuss about 5 points. Number one, Honorable Speaker, before I give my 5 points, is that you see now, Honorable Speaker, we are discussing the half-year report. Sometimes it is very confusing because on Friday, we had the Minister of Finance, and he gave us a report of 567 million, the money that she has been able to collect to date. And now here we are discussing of about 247. And I think even though this report being discussed at the last month or the last 2 weeks of the financial year, I think being a half year, we should be discussing the 9-month report. I think it delayed a bit, and I think next time we need to be a bit updated so that we may be able to discuss the current issues. It would be better. Honorable Speaker, I also want to say that you see the issue of OSR is a very critical issue. If anybody in this country would look at the threats that's happening with the national government on the release of the shareable revenue and whatever is happening with our exchequer at the national level, any county should sit down and become serious with the OSR, because it is taking long. The national government sometimes is not giving money, and for those counties that will not be able to collect money, there will be very serious problems. So far, it seems after devolution, averagely, Honorable Speaker, the counties are able to finance themselves at around between 13 and 15%. And that is why in this country, we don't have what we call fiscal autonomy for the counties, because we are relying on the national government. 85% of most of the counties is money they receive from the national government. And we need to do something, because essentially by the time we started devolution, we need to extend it to a point. If you look at the country like the United States of America, the federal states are able to finance the federal government, the United States government, because there are some states within the U.S. that produce so much into surplus, such that whenever the national government want money, they go to those federal governments and they get some money. And we should be working towards this. Otherwise, whatever is happening to the COG, they are crying all over because they cannot get sufficient funds. Honorable Speaker, I just want to say this. I agree with the mathematics and the figures that we have been given here. But going forward, we should now stop looking at these figures and saying this is the much we collected from FIF, this is the much we collected. You know, we need to now to undo this thing and start asking ourselves, now that I've been told the FIF they collected 196, so what? On application, we just start and say the sick people have reduced, you know. But then we should now, Honorable Speaker, and I know the Chairman of Finance is here, in the next report, let us concentrate more on the strategies and look and critique the report to the executive have implemented the strategy. Because even if you give us figures, you know, for example, you need to ask ourselves, we have been talking about manual versus digitization. Can I get a report how far have we digitized our streams?
You know, that is the kind of report I want to see. So far in the revenue report, I want to see that we have digitized it at 80% or for 80%, instead of now bringing the figures. And that is a strategy. We need to digitize. Where are we? Can we look at when we talk about the broadening of our tax base, of our revenue base? Can we say within our report, we brought a new stream? For example, we are talking here of a new excess. Can we be able to count and say, in the last report, we had 190, for example, streams. But in this year, we have 210. We have been able to broaden. We have talked of very serious issues. For example, in health, we are talking of having a private wing within our JF because the insurance companies are paying. Why can't we be able to go there, look for a building, put some specialized care where some people who have access to insurance can get money and our county gets money? We've been giving these ideas. So how far are we in terms of broadening our revenue base? I want to see the legal framework. We have said in this county, and we have said more than once, we have an omnibus law called Finance Act. But this Finance Act to be implemented requires another legal framework. For example, we are talking of Outdoor Advertisement Act. Do we have it? We have seen all vehicles running all over this county doing the kind of marketing and advertisement. Do they pay? Do we have an Outside Advertisement Act that can be able to support our Finance Act? Do we have our Revenue Administration Act? How is our Enforcement Act? So legal framework that is supposed to support, where are we? How many acts have we done? So that we can be able to support our legal or our revenue collection. I want to see a report on training and capacity building of our staff. That is the revenue collectors. How are they being motivated? Which kind of trainings have they gone in the last half year? Because it is very discouraging, Honorable Speaker. I was speaking with the chairman, the committee legal licensing of the liquor, one honorable from Nyandarua, and he is telling me they have not even received a penny. That gentleman has been using his money to fuel the vehicle to go and look for revenue for this county. And this is somebody, and then we come here and bring a report. We have been able to collect that 5 million, 148% increase. But the committee that is doing that is down demotivated. So we need to see the capacity building, the motivation. What have you done to those people who are in charge of revenue collection? Finally, what have you done in terms of public awareness? This money, we are collecting it from the people. Have you done meetings with the bar owners? Have you done meetings with the hotel owners? Have you done meetings with those people who do logging? So that we reduce the litigations, so that people can comply, so that people can understand why they are paying these revenues. So, Honorable Speaker, what I'm saying as I conclude, maybe in the next report, let's not discuss about figures more, but let us discuss more on terms of revenue, so that we can, I know the committee finance have done a lot. But if you want to put into task the executive to implement, can we now start judging them from terms of strategy? In this, we do our reports in terms of strategy. What have you done in terms of broadband? Tell us. What have you done in all those areas of strategy that we have been giving now and then? Otherwise, we have been sitting in meeting, but you can see there is very minimal increase or minimal change in terms of revenue because it becomes just a talk show. Some ideas are just left after the meeting, after the workshop. We leave it at that, nobody follow up, and then the next day we will come to discuss, we talk about the same issues. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I thank you and I support the report with more recommendations. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Gitau.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I like to support this motion, but I still have some few concerns, especially on the issue of revenue stream number 3, that is on cess, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, if you check at the budget that we passed in this assembly, Honorable Speaker, the budget for Department of Roads, that is the enrollment, that is money that was supposed to build roads, that is gravel and grading and all that, Honorable Speaker. the figures was amounting to almost 1 billion. And if you check at the percentage that goes to cess, Honorable Speaker, it's almost 3% of that money. Honorable Speaker, with that amount to allow that 3 million. That is 3% of 1 billion. So, Honorable Speaker, if you look at these figures of cess, that is by December, they are telling us by December they had collected 27 million. And this is inclusive of cess collected from other departments, because even in water department, there is cess for, that is the contractors that are doing works that involves areas that can give back cess, Honorable Speaker. Other departments have the same. Department of Public Works at the same time at Department of Water and all that. So if you look at these figures, Honorable Chair, these figures are not adding up, because if one department would give that 3 million, and by December you have collected only 27 million, then there is a problem, Honorable Speaker. The other issue, Honorable Speaker, maybe I would have expected the committee to give us figures on how much the county is spending on revenue collection. That is in total, in terms of how much are we spending on our staff. We start by how much are we spending on paying the staff, motivating them, facilitating them, giving them issues like vehicles and all that, fuel and all that. Honorable Speaker, the last time in the budget committee, I remember we had requested the same, but what we got is that this department has only 80 staffs, Honorable Speaker. And the number of vehicles that we have is less than 7 vehicles, Honorable Speaker. And as late as last week, when we had the Department of Finance at Naivasha last week, Honorable Speaker, I remember the Chief Officer, Finance, telling us that they want to consolidate fuel in one department so that they can be managed from that department. I don't know whether it's the CS or the Department of Finance. And one of the reports that he gave us is that this county has 279 vehicles, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, 279 vehicles, and the department that is collecting money to facilitate the budget has only less than 7 vehicles, Honorable Speaker. When we have vehicles going around here doing nothing, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, if you look at the issue of staff, if you're talking of
279 vehicles, they are the vehicles owned by the county government,
yes,
of Nyandarua.
Yes, Honorable Speaker. And only 7 have been allocated to the Department of Revenue, Honorable Speaker. So even as you sit here and expect results from that department, a department that has only 80 staffs, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, and my chair is here, and bear me witness, Honorable Speaker. The money that we gave these people, in terms of money that should be able to pay the staff, that is the overall staff, that is all the staff that we have, over 2,000 staff in this country, Honorable Speaker. If you look at the return on that investment, one of the expectations of this House is that once we give the executive money to pay staffs, to facilitate staffs, to motivate staffs, we also expect some returns on the same. And one of the areas that we expect returns, Honorable Speaker, is the area on revenue collection, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, I would urge the committee chair, Honorable, my good friend, Honorable Zachary, that we need a review, because as much as we have the county secretary and the HR who is in charge of the staffs, I think there is the issue of reallocating duties, Honorable Speaker, so that we can support this department with enough staffs. At the same time, we motivate them, we make them mobile, Honorable Speaker, so that as we expect more in terms of collection, we know that they have the capacity and they're able to do that, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, with that, I would wish to support, but at the same time, make those recommendations that going forward, we need you to support the department, and whatever has been allocated. I've had Honorable Chair mention issues to do with what has been allocated. If we allocated some money to motivate the staffs in the Department of revenue collection, let that money get to the, you know, to the owners, Honorable Speaker. Because once you allocate and this money does not get to the owners, then there is a problem. There will be, you know, there will be go-slow in terms of the staffs who feel that they are not motivated, and they are not given what is supposed to be given to them, and by so doing, we end up with less collection on revenue. Honorable Speaker, thank you.
Yes, Honorable Tenji.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the report, and then, Mr. Speaker, to talk about one recommendation and or one observation that have also been coming across in the county. Mr. Speaker, there is this revenue management system which has not been up to date. And I think, Mr. Speaker, one of the things that are supposed to be observed, as one of the Honorable said, that we have to have a very good strategy. Mr. Speaker, it seems sometimes our systems goes down. Mr. Speaker, this reason, this a kind of a thing that make the revenue not to be collected efficiently. Mr. Speaker, it is important that once the person who is paying the revenue, the strategy of paying is efficient. And this one, I remember sometimes back during the time that our Excellency the Governor had talked about waiving the bills. Mr. Speaker, it's only a few people that paid due to the failure of the systems. It is important, as we consider other failing factors, to also look at the system that manages the revenue collection. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support.
You can call the mover.
Mr. Speaker, I call the mover.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, I wish to appreciate the concerns raised by members, and I wish to give my response as follows, starting with an issue that was raised by the seconder, that is Honorable Ednard Kingori, the issue to do with tax education. And I do agree that we have been having this discussion with the department, that first and foremost, for us even to have agreeable charges, Honorable Speaker, it is prudent to have those sort of public participation sessions whereby our traders are well informed of what they are supposed to pay, which is agreeable, and in return what they should be able to get. About an issue that was raised by Honorable Kayani, that is on page 10. Yes, I do agree that the table on this page, that is the table tabulating revenue, target, actual correction, and percentages. In fact, it is a thematic issue, bearing in mind that the local correction should be 110, as indicated in the findings number 2, and the FIF should be vice versa, that is 136. So that correction will be made. It's a typo error. Honorable Speaker, the issue to do with leakages, yes, we have been having a lot of discussion around the issue to do with leakages, and it is a very complex process, Honorable Speaker, ranging from automation all through to enforcement officers, Honorable Speaker, because we cannot talk about leakages on the aspect of enforcement officers. Honorable Speaker, if we do not operate from up-to-date data, we are operating from existing data, then how do we purport to be dealing with leakages, Honorable Speaker? So I think with the current intervention of equally having another system of revenue collection, bearing in mind that the spatial plan is on the way, and bearing in mind, Honorable Speaker, that the valuation role is almost ready as per the RATS department, that is where now we start addressing the issue of leakages. The other issue was the issue raised by Honorable Kayani about administration control fees and charges. And it is prudent, I take him to page 11, whereby we have indicated that this includes the liquor licenses. And that is what promoted, Honorable Speaker, to the increase in percentage. Honorable Speaker, the liquor licenses falls under category of administration because of issue of how vetting of the bar owners is done, Honorable Speaker, and that is why that revenue is premised at as much. Honorable Speaker, we had an issue whether hospital fees, that was raised by Kayani, whether hospital fees are revenue or expenditure. Honorable Speaker, I think this will be a discussion that will be advanced to another level, bearing in mind that FIF is money that is now being spent at source, Honorable Speaker. So, from our physical analyst, it is good we get to understand whether indeed hospital fees is revenue or an enabler. So, going forward, Honorable Speaker, this is a new fee designed. It's a fee designed in a new manner, Honorable Speaker, and I think with the time we will be in a position to say that this indeed is revenue or an enabler. Honorable Kayani equally talked about cess, that we have just talked about cess very casually. Honorable Speaker, cess entails a number of things, ranging from farm produce cess, forest produce cess, and equally cess from mining, that is from our quality, Honorable Speaker, and that is why collectively, this one being a half-year report, that is why we have combined all the cesses as just one component for cess, as we have done for single business permit, bearing in mind that we have so many different businesses with each and every business being issued with a single business permit. Honorable Speaker, from the recommendation, Honorable Kayani indicated that we have only zeroed in to milk cess. Honorable Speaker, it is because this stream in the process, in the period under review, Honorable Speaker, recorded 0. And that is why we were so much concerned, bearing in mind that there is even a milk cess concept paper that was that emanated from this house, highlighting what should be done and who should be targeted. Because equally we do not want to overwhelm our people with the taxes, Honorable Speaker, and we had indicated that all the vendors, the milk processors, and all the cooperatives, Honorable Speaker, at least we are able to get the 30 cent, Honorable Speaker, for the milk cess, which would translate to a number of a reasonable amount of revenue. The issue to do with sawmillers, it is good to confirm that indeed there was a problem in the last financial year, but as a committee and deliberately as a chair, I took that initiative and brought all the sawmillers on board. We had a sitting with them together with the county CEO, and we did agree on charges, and that is why you can see that this time round, when we are having massive harvest, Honorable Speaker, in our forests, we have not been having any issue, and we have restored even the confidence that was there with our sawmillers. Honorable Gashoba indicated about working with a realistic budget. That was informed by having a very high projected OSR. And Honorable Speaker, this House and these members can attest that as the chair I have been so categorical that we do not exceed 600 million. Because, Honorable Speaker, we cannot just be having arbitrary figures, bearing in mind we have parameters to tell the range we should be in as we put down revenue leasing measures and the issue of seeding leakages. Honorable Geshe indicated about capability, that indeed this county is capable of collecting a tune of 2 billion. In fact, the report from the Controller of Budget and Auditor General, Honorable Speaker, indicated that we have a capacity to collect of 3 billion if all the parameters and measures are put in place. And Honorable Speaker, that will only happen when we make this county investment friendly. Honorable Speaker, that is making this county investors ready, and on the same confronting the issue of revenue collection as an investment. Honorable Speaker, some of these minor revenue streams, like parking, and we have been having a lot of issues with the parking. Remember, Nyandarua is more of a rural county. So when we talk about parking, Honorable Speaker, it's only within our municipalities. And that will only happen when we gazette the parking lots and then come up with the necessary regulations, Honorable Speaker. But if we do confront this issue as an investment, Honorable Speaker, for instance, I have been giving a very practical example, Honorable Speaker, of our seed multiplication unit there at Orojororok. If the county is not able to run that unit, Honorable Speaker, why don't we do a kind of public-private partnership? Other than this county, our farmers and our neighboring counties sourcing certified seeds from other bodies, from the national government, Honorable Speaker. This seed multiplication unit, and a very elaborate unit that spent almost $1 billion, Honorable Speaker, could be a very major boost to our revenue basket. Equally, we have the Cabro plant, which is idle, Honorable Speaker. And I think with the kind of urbanization that is taking place in our upcoming shopping centers, the Cabros we are doing, we can try to incorporate this plant with whatever is being done, Honorable Speaker, and in return, that is another good source of revenue without bothering our people. The issue to do with Sasumwa Dam, I think this being a shared resource and having this discussion over the years, Honorable Speaker, this is the high time. Though we are working in a political environment, Honorable Speaker, this is the high time. We have goodwill from equally the President and the lead ministry, Honorable Speaker, that is the Ministry of Water, so that the issue of Sasumwa Dam, bearing in mind from where it is strategically built, Honorable Speaker, we might not be in a position to get water from Sasumwa Dam, but in return, even if we do not get money, then we have an alternative source, Honorable Speaker, of water. And remember, there was a discussion in the last regime that will be given by the national government, the Marewa Dam, the Keja Dam, and the Chania Dam, Honorable Speaker. and that has already been a talk. So let us confront this issue collectively and see what would come up from the Sasumwa discussion. The chairperson budget raised an issue of timelines, Honorable Speaker, that now we should be discussing the other half year report, Honorable Speaker, but it only depends on when it is forwarded and committed to the committee. And I do agree with him, and we beseech the receiver of revenue to make sure that the timelines are followed. The issue to do with the strategies. Honorable Speaker, over the years we have given alternative strategies, Honorable Speaker, especially when the CCM has been here for budget pronouncement and revenue raising measures, Honorable Speaker, as a committee, ranging from the recommendations we have made during finance bill formulation of finance bill, Honorable Speaker. We have given more than enough strategies. It's only for now the finance department to do the needful. Even in this financial year, the chair budget indicated about new streams. In fact, in the current finance bill, milk says, and a number of new streams are there. We now want to see how the same is being implemented. Honorable Speaker, there is a number of notable policy gaps. You get to understand that we have a kind of an omnibus policy. That is the only the Finance Act. But if you go to other counties, Honorable Speaker, and other establishments, they have regulations for each and every stream. And that, Honorable Speaker, has enabled those streams with specific regulations and policies, Honorable Speaker. The issue to do with enforcement and compliance has been very easy and very effective. The issue to do with the tax education, equally, we have indicated as much. The issue to do with the tax holiday, and all those aspects that relate to the issue to do with tax, Honorable Speaker. The issue to do with that we have solely relied on figures. Yes, it is good to understand that we can only do that when we are doing comparative analysis and for hypothesis, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Jaba, that is Honorable Getau Jaba from member for Shamata, indicated that he has an issue with the cess. Yes, I do agree. And this has been brought by a lack of proper enforcement, Honorable Speaker. You get to understand, especially when we are dealing with farm produce cess. Where are our cess points of rate, Honorable Speaker? Traders have tried as much as possible to get alternative routes so that they can be able to escape, Honorable Speaker. And we have recommended all the measures to be put in place, ranging from surveillance and making sure that we have enough access points, Honorable Speaker, and we do a proper mapping so that there can never be an alternative route for those traders who want to evade tax, Honorable Speaker. Another issue, Honorable Getau equally wanted that in the next report, it is good we indicate how much is spent on revenue collection. And Honorable Speaker, we will try as much as possible, but I wish to notify the member that this is a very big scope. ranging from human resource within the department, the revenue collection system put in place, the issue to do with fuel management, the issue to do with the number of trucks involved, and equally the number of field allowances, Honorable Speaker, paid to the revenue officers. But in the next report, the same will be done. But there is a very deliberate effort, Honorable Speaker, to deal especially with the issue of vehicles, and that is why now there is the formation of the fleet management system, Honorable Speaker, to make sure that we are not short of vehicles, whereby we are having other vehicles lying idle in other departments, Honorable Speaker, and yet they are county vehicles. We do not want to see a situation where a certain officer may park a vehicle for 12 hours, Honorable Speaker, and maybe that vehicle would have been used by enforcement officers in attempt to minimize equal resources. Another issue, Honorable Speaker, is the shortage of the human resource. Honorable Speaker, through the Committee on Public Service, where I happen to be a member, which is chaired by my good friend and a senior member, Honorable Nyandarua, we indicated that there must be a very elaborate staff establishment, whereby we will have the issue to do with skill audit, and be in a position to tell which department is understaffed and which is overstaffed, and then from there the issue to do with the designation, Honorable Speaker, can happen. Equally, we are having interns each and every year, and I think because of the service need, interns would be another HR force, Honorable Speaker, that would be now engaged through that Department of Finance. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deji, there is an issue with the revenue collection system. Of late, Honorable Speaker, we have been using the BSK system, and it has been having a lot of breakdowns, and that is why we have recommended. And in the last supplementary budget, Honorable Speaker, this House, through the Committee on Budget and Appropriations, appropriated funds for procuring a new system that will entail a number of packages ranging from up-to-date data, backups, Honorable Speaker, so that we have a viable revenue collection system. And equally in this financial year, in the budget estimates that will be approved before the night of 30th June, there is yet another 10 million to make sure that that equally supplements not only the issue to do with what will be left in the system, but other gadgets that will be used in the revenue collection system. Honorable Speaker, with that, I want to appreciate all the members and beseech the members to adopt this report with the said recommendations and amendments so that it marks, Honorable Speaker, it serves, Honorable Speaker, the purpose, and with that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you, Honorable Zachary. I now put the question, which is that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on Finance, Economic Planning and ICT on the Nyandarua County Receiver of Revenue half-year report and financial statements for the period ended December 31st, 2024, as a report of the House and the recommendations therein as a resolution of the House. May those of a similar opinion say aye.
Aye.
May those of a contrary opinion say nay. And the ayes have it. Honorable members, I had earlier on stated that in regard to the progress report on the implementation status of physical and land use development plans for Mairoinya and Engineer Municipality and the surveying of colonial dams in Nyandarua, I had said I'll give directions. I refer the matter back to the House Business Committee for deliberation and further directions. Clerk, next order.
Mr. Speaker, sir, we've exhausted the business as indicated in the afternoon sessions order paper.
There being no other business to transact during this sitting, I now adjourn the House to Wednesday, the 18th day of June, 2025 at 9:30 a.m.